Here's how the communication interface on the Husqvarna BLi30 and the BLi20 batteries work. This is the external enclosure, as you probably have it. This is the battery inside here. This is the battery side of the connector. It has these Anderson power pole connectors on it. This is the tool side connector. I've taken apart this tool. This is the Husqvarna Leaf Blaster 350 IB. And so that is all over here, off screen slightly to the left. You can see here's the actual brushless DC motor controller. Here's our trigger, and here's that front control panel. And the way this interface works, it's not serial data or anything. You have all of these connectors. You have 5 total connectors, and 4 of them are Anderson power poles. So you have the black ground, you have this gray, which appears to be some kind, it's a voltage. When the tool is on, it's just a static voltage. So I think it might be some kind of way for the battery to tell the tool maybe what the temperature is. No idea. It doesn't matter because at least this tool, the leaf blower, doesn't use it. It's not hooked up. You can see we only have ground, power, and then this white signal, which we'll talk about. There's this other custom, it's not an actual Anderson power pole product, although it does mate like one, but there's no terminals. It doesn't do anything. There's no connection on this side. And also, more importantly, the battery doesn't have the connection either, which means that no tool needs it per se, because say you had a chainsaw just hypothetically and it did use this, well, this isn't hooked up to anything either. So this doesn't do anything. It probably just keeps you from plugging the battery in incorrectly. So really all we need is the 3 wires, the ground, the power, and then this pin here, which we'll talk about. This is the white pin. If this pin is disconnected, the tool will not work. I'll show you that behavior here. So if we don't have it connected, when we turn the tool on, and I'm going to do this rather quickly here, you get about a second, maybe 2 seconds where this tool will work. So let me turn it on, and then I've got the throttle here. But after that, it stops working, and it'll become obvious why that is here in a second. Remember that 1 to 2 seconds thing there. So we'll plug this back in like so, and now it will actually work. So if I turn this on now, we'll actually get the tool now does work forever. I've tested that there off camera. And so let's look at this signal here. So to get the signal, the tool does need to be on. And then you can see the signal right here. It is a 1 millisecond pulse every second. So in 1 second, you need one millisecond pulse. Very, very simple, never changes. Now I do want to mention a couple of things here. This is not a 0 to 5 volt signal. This is a 0 to the battery voltage minus 5 volts, and it does track. If you bring the battery voltage down, this voltage will drop down as well. So there is a 5 volt there. It's probably due to how they're driving this logic. I wanted to see if it wasn't positive referenced. So I changed my reference from ground, which is where you normally measure it, to the actual positive terminal, and got the same behavior where we were actually still 5 volts above ground there. So it's not like it's positive referred logic or anything. That doesn't mean anything to you, don't worry about it. Well, what I'm saying here is that you do need to make sure you can't just hook this up to a standard like TTL 0 to 5 volt because you'll break it. You're gonna need some kind of FET device there. So I did a little more sleuthing. You can see I have a diode in here right now, and this diode is only for my determining how this works. And the cool thing about diodes is, they only let current go through one direction. And so I was able to deduce some logic here. So first of all, in the tool side, we have a 10K pull-up to the VBAT minus 5 volts. And that is generated on the tool side. So the tool is generating that reference. So this max voltage you're seeing here is tool side generated. So when the tool is plugged in, the battery knows the tool is plugged in because the battery, if it's not doing anything, this will just float high. And now the battery has an N-channel FET. It might be a transistor instead of a MOSFET. Doesn't matter. It's the same. It's being driven, just digital logic. So I don't care if it's a MOSFET or a standard old NPN or whatever. Doesn't matter. So basically, the tool plugs in, and when this floats, we get our VBAT minus 5 volts, and then VBAT is every 999 milliseconds out of every second, it's going to be pulling that line low, and then it'll pull it up, and that'll let the tool. So that way both the battery and the tool can know that they're there. Very, very simple. You could easily replicate this if you want to bring your own battery. That's what I'm doing. I have a 47 amp hour frame, like a backpack frame battery. It's 2 kilowatt hours instead of like 300 or whatever. So it's quite a big difference in energy storage. Plus, it's just fun to reverse engineer these buses or whatever, although this did not take any. My understanding was that this is a serial bus and I was gonna have to go and bit bang and play around with packets. You don't need any of that. So anyway, yeah, that's it. You don't need this diode. That's this diode right here. Again, that was just so I could figure out where this logic was. And so I'll just show you there. I'm gonna unplug this diode, don't need it. Plug that in there, like so. And now we can turn this back on and it'll just work forever. So anyway, that's how this battery protocol works. I will zoom out so you can see it here. It's gonna be kind of difficult to see when I get to the time base here. Here's our pulse, next pulse a second later, next pulse a second later. There's nothing else there. No other data, nothing on it. If you can't see that, you're gonna just have to take my word for it. You need a 1 millisecond pulse every second. That's what it looks like there. Now this is ultimately pretty moot for me because I'm not actually using any of the OEM electronics. I'm not using the battery there. I'm not even using the motor controller. I do like the actual blower portion of this leaf blower. Let me scoot over here just a hair. This is the inner of that leaf blower. Now one interesting thing I noted on this, it's again the 350 IB Husqvarna leaf blaster. I think they make a chainsaw with the same model number, which is kind of confusing. But anyway, yeah, what I noticed is that in the normal full throttle mode, which is where you turn this on and then you just pull the trigger all the way, it will pull 370 watts peak at full throttle. When you go into the boost mode, it's not a 20% boost like it says on their data sheet. It says, you know, enable boost mode for more power. It's a 3 times. So instead of 370 watts, it pulls 1100 watts. And you can just sit there, turn this into beast mode, and then just hold that down and it will just stay at 1100 watts all day long. So it's quite a huge boost mode. Now, of course, with this normal pack, you're gonna be thrashing it. This pack is a 3P10S 18650. So it's 30 18650 cells, and man, thrashing 1100 watts, even though, you know, it's in 3 in parallel, I mean, 300 watts, 350 watts per, boy, that's gonna thrash those things pretty quick, which is what typically happens in these tools. So anyway, I'm sure that the warranty will run out right as the batteries do as well. That's typically what happens. But anyway, I just wanted to mention, I'm not using their controller at all because it only works up to like 40 volts. So what I've done is I'm using the Vesk project controller. I've stuffed this bigger heatsink on it. And I got this thing programmed up here, and that way I can run it up to 12S instead of 10S. And I've got it hooked up to where I can plug their throttle in. So I'm gonna cram all this back in there. And then this is gonna use an FOC controller, which is gonna be a very efficient algorithm. And I can control all those set points. I've already got it all set up. I just need to kind of throw it all together. Kind of last thing here, we've hit the battery as far as probably the reason you're here. But I did want to show you the backpack that I've put together on here. I talked about it a second ago. So this is a 47 amp hour 12S LiPo cell. It weighs about 26 pounds. So it's backpack mounted, as you saw there. But this basically is enough energy to where you could leaf blower for like 2 to 3 hours. Even if you were at the 1100 watt value here, and you were only using 75% of the state of charge to maximize battery life, you could do 1100 watts for an hour and a half, or you could do the 370 watt normal mode for, you know, 6 hours if you wanted. So kind of overkill, but this is underkill. These batteries don't last very long. They're only 270 watt hours, and they're probably using 80% of that maybe. So let's say they're using 240 watt hours over 370 there. I mean, you're talking 30 minutes max, and if you're in this beast mode here, it's, you know, 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, probably not even that, because you're thrashing these batteries. So big battery is going to be able to really overcome that. I am going to go ahead and cram this honker capacitor in just because I had it lying around. And it's basically the same size as the OEM battery, so something like that's going to happen. you know, to be determined, just so you have, you know, everyone loves to have a 27,000 microfarad cap. It'll probably weigh it, you know, make the weight a little more balanced anywho, because when you don't have a battery in here, it's a little bit front heavy. So having a, you know, 1.5 pounds of capacitor in there. I've kind of gone off the rails on this video. You might be asking, what am I doing messing around with this tool? Why don't I just buy something? The ultimate goal here is that I'm going to be using this VESC controller. This is an open source controller design. It's used in like one wheels, and there's a few cars that have used it. Well, I'm going to be putting the firmware on this and, you know, the actual microcontroller code logic on here into a car. It will ultimately be controlling the hybrid motor in the Honda Insight, the original Honda Insight. And so I wanted to prototype this platform on a leaf blower that cost me $150 instead of a car, where if I make mistakes, I'm gonna blow up the engine. So that is the reason ultimately why I came in here. This would otherwise not be a project worth the time. I wouldn't have taken it. I do live in a very leafy area, and it is fall, so lots of leaf blowing. I maintain a 4-mile trail, and so this should allow me to leaf blow the whole trail in one go with any luck. And anyway, 11 minutes plus sounds about reasonable. The reason you probably came here to watch this was to figure out how the Husqvarna battery system works. Again, you just need a 1 millisecond pulse every second on the battery side. So the tool's going to pull you up. You need to pull down with a MOSFET probably. But anyway, yeah. And that MOSFET needs to be rated to, you know, 50 volts or so in-channel MOSFET with an open drain configuration. You could drive it with an Arduino. It would be 5 lines of code. You'd basically set the pin as an output. You would I guess, yeah, you'd pull it high for 999 milliseconds, and then you would basically float it. So you'd turn the pin off so that the FET output goes high. And then you do that for 1 millisecond, and then you basically just do that forever. That's all your Arduino code is. Set it to an output, turn the FET off, or rather turn the FET on for 999 milliseconds. So turn your output pin high, and then every 999th millisecond, you'll basically turn that line low to turn the in-channel FET off. That will cause the pin to float up, and everything will be happy. 5 lines of code. That will be put somewhere on GitHub as soon as I have worked it all out, because of course I'm going to need to do that for my battery spoofer there. So anyway, yeah, don't expect a follow-up video on that, at least in any detail. If there is a follow-up video, it will just be me walking around blowing leaves with the leaf blower. I don't know, whatever. Thanks for watching.